We're getting into fall and eventually into winter, and as we head into that, the humidity levels just drop like a rock inside your house. That's why it's important always to have a humidifier around. And I want to show you two of those that come right from my house. They're what I call evaporative humidifiers, meaning there's a little sponge and there's a little, let me just pop this open here for you. There's the sponge right here. You add the water in the bucket and you have a little fan right here. So the fan actually pushes air around the sponge and it evaporates all of the moisture into the air. Now, you probably have a bunch of these in your house. I've got my big one here that I have usually in my living room. Does most of the house, but you know, for the bedrooms, that's why I have the small ones out here. But you might notice not so clean on the inside. So I got a couple of tips for you and your humidifiers. If you have evaporative humidifiers, obviously the first thing you need to do is replace the filter. This filter's not bad, but you know what? I always like to get a fresh start on the season. So a couple of things that you can do is, number one, clean the unit. You do this by and also buy a new filter. And last but not least, with humidifiers like this, clean out the water often. If it stays, stagnant and you don't have to have it turned on for a couple of days, dump out that water early on so it doesn't go bad. Cleaning tips are real easy. You can use things like a little Comet and bleach, pop it in there, wash her around. The thing I like to do with these is actually take the electronics out, which would be where the fan is. You can't wash that. You got to wash that very carefully, actually. And I like to take the basket right here where all the water is, and a lot of times you get scaling in there, and I even have a little dirt by the looks of it. Put it in your dishwasher. Put the dishwasher on cleaning for pots and pans so it gets a real good scrubbing. So that way you can double scrub it, make sure it's nice and clean and ready to go. I'll tell you what, when the humidity level really drops, this is a good example of why we need humidifiers here in Wisconsin. When the temperature hits 0 and the humidity is at 100%, and then you take that air and heat it up to 70 degrees inside your house, the relative humidity drops to 2%. That's less than in most desert regions out there. That's why we get dry skin and things like this. So I encourage you, if you have a chance to, if you don't have one, pick up a humidifier. If you do have one, make sure it's good and clean and you have a new filter for it. Stay with us. Good Day Wisconsin has plenty more to come. What a gorgeous day out here on the weather deck. More about your weather coming up to you.